All right, we're on brisket time. We're at Bert's house.
Okay, so I've got this a choice brisket, and this is a flat brisket. It's a little different than the whole brisket. The whole brisket is actually the whole thing, and it has not been trimmed up. And it will actually go from quite thick to about this thinness right here. So this is a trimmed up piece, and it's called the flat brisket. Now, before we get started putting my brisket rub on it, I want you to notice the grain of the brisket, the direction that it's running. What I want to do before I do anything else is I'm going to cut just off of this end right here. I know now that that's going to be the direction as I cut this, because it's against the grain. If you cook this and you take it off and you really can't see the direction of the grain, and you start cutting it with the grain, the best piece of meat is still going to be a little bit tough. So I do that just so that I know where my starting point will be from. Now I'm going to apply my brisket rub on. And I like to use the spoon like this that's got some holes in it. It's a little easier to get it even spread across the meat, because the holes in the top of this cap are just a little bit too large. So as I take it over here, and I'm just going to shake it on like this, and I just want a good coverage. And this has a little bit of salt in it, but it's got a good beef base flavoring that turns out really good.
I was going to say, it kind of smells like au juice seasoning.
Yeah, it really does. You can actually, this type of brisket rub, you can get it on too thick, and then it's just a little bit too salty.
I'm going to zoom in on the ingredients here.
Now you notice I've got this brisket upside down. I've got the fat side down right now. I like to put this a really good coat on the bottom side first, then I don't have to re-flip it again, and I keep the fat side up all the time during cooking.
You probably don't get a lot of seasoning going through the fat anyway.
You really don't.
The flavor of the fat gets into the meat, definitely.
And when you cut up the brisket, you want to do again against the grain and slice it real thin, and it turns out so good.
We'll show that in video too. Well, we're going to be cutting it live.
Yeah, we'll be cutting this live tonight.
Okay, video 2 will probably I'll come over while it's getting done, and we'll check the temperature and see your next steps.
Okay, now I'm going to call that good, and I'm going to take this out on my smoker. Now you can see right here that I've cut that side,
okay,
that end right here. So when I get this off of my smoker, it's obviously going to look a lot better. I'll know where my starting point is. Now we're going to go outside and put this on my smoker.
Bert's got a Traeger. And it's already fired up. Is that the temperature you set it to, 212?
I set it to 180.
180, okay.
This will go up to about 240 and then come back down and then back up again. So it will hold it right around 220 to 240.
Here's an example of one brand of a smoker thermometer right there. So the Traeger's got this firebox down in the middle. In this bin you've got pellets, and in the bottom of the bin there's an auger. There's a lot of companies with these pellet grills, but the auger's sending those pellets into this firebox that's got a fan, and it flames and it heats it up, blows on that wood. So you're actually cooking with wood here, and you get some real good flavor. What kind of pellets did you put in there for this recipe?
For this I'm using apple.
Apple, okay. Apple's always good. Can't go too wrong with apple.
Now, anytime you're doing some good smoking, temperature is the key. Now I want to get this temperature at the first stage of this up to 160 degrees. Right now you can see the temperature of the meat right now is 40 degrees, going down to 39. Now I've got
good
this
refrigeration.
I've got that set so that I'm going to watch it when it reaches 160 degrees. I'll be able to see this temperature. After which I will take it off, and then we'll go to the next step from there.
All right.